Now let's talk about a higher level of scamming, often involving investment fraud. These scams involve more money, sophistication, and persuasion by the scammer. Their biggest weapon is the use of a personal connection that is fostered over the telephone or in person at a sales presentation or luncheon. This personal connection is used to crank up the persuasion. The scammer will put more time into these scams than the quick strike scams, and they will also go after more of your money. The irony is, they'll use the promise of riches to draw you into these scams. Fraud expert Doug Shadell has broken down the tactics of scammers. To protect yourself, you need to build up an awareness of persuasion-based tactics. Like Mr. Shadell says, you don't have to memorize the tactics. Just try to assess if they've been used on you before, so you can stop it in the future. Emotion stoking. The scammer's first goal is to exploit your fear, greed, insecurity, compassion, or fantasy. The goal is to stop you from thinking logically and persuade you to make decisions based on emotions. Phantom riches. With your critical thinking cap off and your emotions stoked, the scammer will solve your problems with promises of wealth or riches, but it's a lie, and the promises are false. These are phantom riches. There are no riches or not nearly as much as promised. The point is to get you to do something you wouldn't ordinarily do, because if you want something bad enough, it can hinder your ability to examine an offer critically. Source credibility. A scammer will try to fool you into thinking the offer is legitimate, give you every excuse to believe. Scammers will appear to look and sound legitimate, and they'll make you think their offer is too. They'll dress professionally, sound like they know what they are talking about. If you are thinking emotionally, the part of you that wants to believe in the phantom riches of the offer will be satisfied by the fake credibility the scammer creates. It will stop you from acting logically and looking deeper. The scammer is counting on this. Social consensus. A scammer will also use the tactic of social consensus to get you to think that everyone is doing it. This is another attempt to legitimize the product and the offer. Another attempt by the scammer to keep you from thinking critically and looking deeper. Reciprocity. This is a big tactic of scammers. They'll give you something, for instance, free lodging, lunch, or a gift, and then use it against you later. Most people are trained to give back once they have been given something. A scammer will exploit this. Scarcity. To keep you in the emotional state and up the ante, the scammer will apply scarcity. This could come in the form of a deadline or a supposed limit on the amount of items they'll have or offers they'll accept. Anybody can be taken. Con artists are slick. It doesn't mean the victims are stupid or they have a lack of education. In fact, most of the scams happen against folks who have had a good degree of education and are smart, who know something about finance, and who have cash in the bank. This is why seniors are now a target.
You can become a victim of these scams if you don't look skeptically at unsolicited mailings, phone calls, or sales pitches. If you don't ask a lot of questions. Also, be careful of the questions you answer. If you don't read paperwork and wait for the scammer to tell you what it says, if you don't look for why the offer is a scam and focus only on why the offer will make you money. If you let the scammer's persuasion-based tactics work, you fail to think critically about the offer.